What's up, everybody? I'm Mo,
It's your boy Gabza here.
and this is the God Look Covered podcast.
Yes, sir.
Music, and today it's the same day because we're wearing the same clothes on the other video as well. We're doing the same thing here.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing a deep dive review on Mr. K. Dot hashtag Mr. Kung Fu Kenny himself, Kendrick Lamar. We're gonna be basically ranking his studio albums, the all of them. How many? Five of them. All five of his studio albums, and just basically just looking back at what he's given us over the past 10 or so years. So
Yeah, we'll start with his debut album. Again, it's his debut album as the least ranked album.
I think what, Ned? I think this is it. It's not an alarming thing. I would say if you have a studio album being at the bottom of your list, I'd say it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Section 8 is a bad album.
It's not.
It's not. There are some of his best lyrical work on this album. I'd say definitely. I'd say, as I've said before, it just means that he elevated his sound. He got better. He got better, which means he grew as an artist, which is a good thing. So I'd say it's an alarming thing if your debut album is only going to, like, you've released 5 albums and your best album is only good. Like, I don't know. That's my opinion anyways. I don't know about that.
Nah, I get you. Your debut album can be in your top 3 and you've released more than 5 albums.
I feel like, it's a testament to say that, they've grown. They've
getting higher every single time.
True, and they keep on setting the bar higher every single time.
Yeah.
So yeah, our number 5, Section 80. I'd say they are some bangers here. They are
some
definitely
gems. ADHD.
ADHD. Yeah.
Another one. High Power. I mean, it was rough Kendrick,
Rough Kendrick.
Rough Kendrick. K-Dot. This was rough in the sense of this was him in Compton, after getting I'd say a salute from the legends of Compton, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, The Game, telling them that we're passing on the torch to you. You're the one that's gonna advance West Coast hip hop further.
Okay. I think that's a good analogy. I would say that sounds really good. I'd say.
And he got off to a great start.
And he got off to a very great start. I'd say, as I've said before, there are some of his best lyrical work on this album. Definitely 100%. I'd say most people would say that they discovered Kendrick. Obviously, it was his debut album, but then there are a lot of songs that people look back to and say that, damn, I don't think I've ever heard him, sound as good as he did here. Because some might say he was at his most, as you said, he was rough Kendrick. He was probably at his most raw.
Yeah.
He was just writing bar for bar, doing what he does best, basically writing pen to paper, doing what he does best, just writing the hell out of everything that he can. And I'd say Section 80 is.
That's the case with your first major label release. Well, you have to impress,
True.
So.
And I'd say it's not as polished, maybe production and all that. It's not as polished as his albums to come, but that makes sense because it's his debut album. He was still starting out, and I'd say he started off on a great note. Nonetheless.
And at the first spot, we had a big debate about.
We had a very big debate
about putting this album
about
at fourth place.
Putting this at fourth place. Put Damn at fourth place, 2017, and a lot of people are gonna be like, and that's fair. I'd say, when you look at this album, you think, what are you talking about? He won a Pulitzer Award, and I mean, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
That's a big deal.
He's the only rapper to
ever win a Pulitzer Award, and I mean, he 100% deserved it. I think his writing on this album, I'd say, when you look at Duckworth, I'd say Duckworth is the storytelling of Duckworth, one of my favorite Kendrick Lamar songs ever. I'd say, this album, I'd say, I don't know how do you what pin would you put on? I'd say there's a lot going on in this album. I'd say
there's a lot going on, and I feel like my opinion about this album, bro.
Please let the people know your opinion on this album.
My opinion on this album is that sonically, I don't think Kendrick was into that on this.
Ooh.
He just wanted to write, bro. And he dropped fire bars, bro. Like we mentioned Duckworth, the story that punch the owner of TDE,
TDE.
and his dad
Yeah.
had an altercation. And if things went other ways,
you know, he
wouldn't have had a dad at this moment of his life. Yeah. And that was cool, bro. The way he took
the way he took it, and the fact that, you know, like when you listen to Duckworth and you listen to all of that, and then it kind of does that whole reverb of I thought that was very cool.
That drive to KFC, you see everything, because he's describing how his father was at that moment. The drive by, you know Compton, you know, it's one of the
true. I'd say moving away from Duckworth, just like to other songs as well. I'd say songs like DNA. I'd say wow, DNA. He went very hard on DNA.
He's telling us about himself.
Basically telling him about who he is, basically. And man, DNA. He went hard. Songs like Element. I'd say songs like Element are also like up there as like one of the highlights of 2017. I'd say Loyalty collaboration of that year. I'd say that I think that was the best collaboration of that year. Or you could put it up there as one of the best collaborations, I'd say. And you know,
Humble.
That was a smash hit. I think that was
number one, solo number one.
Really? Oh yeah, true. I'd say that's when you remember this album, you remember that, okay, Kendrick was, you know, I wouldn't say, I mean, he was commercial at that point. I would say he was
because Good Kid, Mad City debuted at number 2, to Pimp A Butterfly number 1. It had his biggest song, Alright, and 2017 was right after To Pimp A Butterfly.
Okay.
So yeah, he was a big star at that moment.
At that point, I'd say. Oh, all right. So I'd say
the hype around this album.
True, it was. I think I'd say that the numbers of this album, I think they were his best at that point. I'd say
600K first week.
Yeah. Wow. Jeez. Yeah. I think he you could say that this was when he was reaching. I wouldn't say his prime. I wouldn't say, but he was around that time where he was a mainstay. He was in his prime. He was in his prime. He was at that point where he realized that I'm at my mainstay. I can, you know, put out different sounds. I can try different things, and you know, and he really did that. I'd say, even experimental songs like Love. I'd say, a very beautiful love song that I enjoyed myself. It was a very, very good project, and even the different kinds of songs like triple X. When I saw the triple X, I was like, what's going on in this song? What's happening on this one? What's happening on this song?
I feel like that's all we're gonna talk about.
Okay.
Is his writing. And you know, people are gonna say, what, you guys are putting Damn at 4th place, but you will realize that the next album that's at the 3rd spot, it has more to it.
Yeah.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Number 3, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Yeah.
The most recent project that he released not too long, 2 months ago, right? I think around about 2 months ago.
May 13th. Yeah.
May 13th. And I'd say, wow. I'd say what helped this album as well, the fact that it had been, 5 years since he had dropped an album. And I'd say, you know,
not counting the Black Panther album.
Like in terms of him as an artist releasing a project on his own, like the hype was real, especially for this album. I'd say he really, because he didn't do that much promo work, but he didn't need to. I'd say besides a few taxis in Ghana, like he didn't really do that much.
Not that much.
He didn't really do that much advertising, but he didn't need to. I think the hype was there, and you can really tell that it was a very different album in the sense that he was talking about a lot of very personal. I think he was at his most vulnerable.
True.
In this album, I'd say he really tore the curtain down, because Kendrick, he can like there are songs where he does talk about his personal life, about his childhood, but here he really just lets the curtain down completely and lets it all out for everyone to see. And I'd say it was beautiful in the sense that he just let it all out, and he did it in a very concise way, in a very distinct way.
Even the cover just shows that it matches the song Savior, where he's telling us that, you know, I'm removing myself from that battle. I'm removing myself from the pedestal. I'm removing myself from being the savior of hip hop. The way Snoop, Dr. Dre have put me on that pedestal. Like you are the one carrying the torch now. The album cover just shows a simple man who hasn't changed his shirt in 5 years, bro.
He has not. The same white shirt. Wow, Kendrick, come on, dude.
With his kids.
Hey,
his
bro,
family.
when I saw the album come, I'm like, whoa, this guy is too, like, whoa. I was pleasantly surprised at the fact that he was being that person. I'd say that Kendrick is a very private person. I'd say
True.
you only know you only know the
What he
things that
wants
we
you
know.
to see.
He only knows what he wants you to see, and I'd
Yeah.
say I love the fact that he let us into his world, and he let it all out for everyone for everyone to know. And I'd say
Real guys don't need therapy. I mean, Father Time was, for me, the best song on the album. Father Time, where he's talking about issues that he faced in his childhood with his father being reluctant to talk about emotions, to take a deep dive into human feelings, basically. And this is something that I relate to, something that I see in black culture, where
where
people don't see it's a white construct.
to talk about to talk about feelings, to be open about feelings and things like therapy and all that. People don't usually talk about that, those kind of things. So I'd say, man, this really I'd say it was when it came out, there was a bit of mixed reviews, mixed reception, and also like even like commercially it didn't do that well. But I don't think he was bothered about that. I think he just wanted to put out an album from the heart, and he just wanted to let it all out. He wanted to let it be bare bones, just right there. And I
Because
think
he did mention that he got writer's block for 5 years, for a few years during his hiatus, where he couldn't put pen to paper, and get into his comfort zone.
I think, and that's a testament to the fact that if he feels like he's not at his best, he won't release music. He won't be forced to release music unless he feels like it's gonna be. And I think that's why he is where he is, and the fact that he has not missed out of all of these albums. He has not missed before.
True.
So
I love the harmonic choir vibes in the intro, just taking you into this album. Like tell them, bro. It was a cinematic experience, this album. To all the people that are saying, damn, should have been this, when you go back into this album, it's something totally different from what Kendrick has ever done
before.
And Mina, I appreciate him being versatile. This is something that we didn't really get in his previous albums. Not versatile, not in the sense of lyricism, not in the sense of sonically, but him dabbling into other sections of hip-hop. He had a trap song, N95, a slapper. It's a banger. And he added trap artists.
I think you could
Kodak Black.
You could say that he was a bit versatile on to Pimp A Butterfly. I'd say that there are a lot of jazz, but I do understand what you're saying. I do understand that he doesn't do it a lot.
Yeah, he doesn't do it a lot, because we know Kendrick bars, And now on this one, he gave us beautiful songs like Die Hard, which is a nice vibey song. Blast and Amanda Rifer actually did great on this song, and We Cried Together with Taylor Page.
Yeah.
Intense.
Yeah, I know. Don't listen to that song with your parents and shit. We Cried Together. I mean, obviously, I'm just like, listen. I think We Cried Together. Like most people, they didn't know. They didn't know what they were listening to.
They didn't know what they were listening to.
They didn't know what they were listening to. And
we didn't expect this.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
We did not expect this, and I love the outro on this too, on Mirror.
Yeah, Mirror's. Yeah.
He chose himself. He's sorry that he chose putting himself first, and I think this just shows us that we won't interact with Kendrick much from here.
That's kind of sad.
In the music sense.
That's kind of sad, but
we won't get those control verses. We won't get those type of things. Now it's just a normal family man.
And because I mean he's been through a lot. He's really been through a lot. So yeah.
And those are that's why we put this album at third place, and number 1 and number 2 is it was a very tough decision for us to make, and we've reached the decision that Good Kid, Mad City is second best, but it could be number 1.
It could very well be number 1. I'd say Good Kid, Mad City was one of those albums where you're just like, yeah, no,
he's arrived.
This kid has arrived. This kid is here. He has arrived. No question. I think it was released a year after Section 80.
Yeah.
So he didn't give anyone any breathing room. He just said, you know what, I dropped the project last year, but this year I'm going ham. I'm going crazy, and you know, you could say that this was what really put him. I mean, you know, it really put him up there. It really put him up there. It made people just notice that okay, K Dot, this guy, he's serious. He's something special.
Yeah.
And I mean the classics on this album. I mean,
Don't Kill My Vibe.
Don't kill my vibe. Backseat freestyle.
Oh, bro, Money Trees.
Money Trees.
The best feature, one of the best features of the last decade. J Rock on Money Trees.
Yeah,
bro.
true.
I mean, even the sample on it, and you got the last Drizzy and K Dot song.
When they're still friends. Oh damn. When they're still Poetic Justice. You know.
Amazing song.
Yeah.
Amazing song.
And I mean, if you want like a full on slap banger, Mad City.
City.
Yo, Mad City. You see that? Mad City net. Yo.
And you know,
Woo.
I remember I was watching his conversation on GQ with Rick Rubin. He said, when I put out this album, you know, it was my second album on a major label. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to connect because my peers around me, the artists around me, they were doing big, you know, they were doing big, and I wanted to arrive. I was at that moment where I couldn't drop songs that were solely mine, you know. I had to drop ear candy songs. He said he put out Good Kid, pardon me, Don't Kill My Vibe, and what's the song? Swimming Pools Drank.
Swimming Pools.
Those are the songs that he was expecting to be ear candy, to be the songs that elevate this album in a commercial sense. And he got surprised by the reception that Mad City received.
Yeah, no, Mad City is that song is crazy, bro.
Amazing song.
That's a crazy song.
Amazing song.
That's a crazy song.
I remember when we were watching the Super Bowl performance and his opener was Mad City.
You know, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like I think it's a testament to that. You know, there are lots of hidden gems in this album that you could say are probably his best song. Like definitely one, no question.
And Compton with Dr. Dre, that was just Compton and the Recipe with Dr. Dre. That was just a victory lap from Kendrick. That I'm here now. I'm with the big bosses now.
Definitely. And my favorite song on this project, Sing About Me, I'm Dying of This. It's a 12-minute song, but you are invested the whole way through. I would say this was one of those songs where you can just like, most people when they drop a 12-minute song, you're just like, what are you doing? What is this? What are you trying to do here? But I think the way he wrote it and the way that he laid it out, I think the story of the album in itself, you know, what's the name of the girl that he wants to get with? There's the girl that from that.
Bro, the way this song has a lot of content in it. The girl, I even forgot about the girl.
There's that girl that he wants to smash or something. I forgot. I forgot.
He touched on a lot of topics. He touched on peer pressure, him being in that car with his friends, you know, about to do that drive-by, talking about the influences, the different positive and negative influences that he encountered in Compton. And it was, like you mentioned, it was 12 minutes, but you were invested in the story. You were invested in what Kendrick was trying to tell you. And he did do another peer pressure where he focuses on peer pressure, on the art of peer pressure. That's another song that he delves into topics that rappers these days don't usually do.
Yeah, true. I'd say this is one of those albums that you will always remember very fondly. And you know, he should have won the Grammy. We all know it, but you know, it is what it is. He should have won the Grammy, but we say it's his second best album, and it is as good. It could even be number one. Yeah,
man. I just like to mention Swimming Pools Drank. It's a bop. We all know that song, but
that was just him trying to do the commercial scene. I'd say he
it's not just that, bro.
No, I know.
But listen, when you take a deep dive into this song, I'll just quote the first lyric. Now I done grew up around some people living their life in bottles. That just tells you what Kendrick is about to talk about on the song. Alcoholism, you know. The I think peer pressure was a constant theme in this one, where like why you babysitting only 2 or 3 shots? I'm gonna show you how to turn it up a notch. This is something that we.
Whoa, dude, calm down. Whoa.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is something that we see, like when peer pressure, it's a tactic that they use. You know, when you with a bunch of friends at a place, then we're like, why you babysitting only 2 or 3 shots?
Yeah,
Let me show
true.
you how to turn it up a notch. You know.
True.
I love the way he used that topic to make a pop song,
and you know what, the fact that it is a pop song, I think it's one of his more well-known pop songs. But you know, I think that's what Kendrick Lamar is. He's the type of artist that you can listen to his song the one time and you can say, damn, wow, that was a club banger. It can be a club banger, but it's so layered to such an extent where literally you broke it down to like 3 or 4 different topics. I'd say that's just the type of art. I think that's just a testament to the kind of artist that he is. The fact that he can drop a banger and it still can be that layered in so many different details.
True.
And I'd say that album in itself is
classic. Fun fact, the longest charting hip-hop album of all time, more than 500 weeks on the Billboard 200. A decade as the top 200 albums in the US, basically the world.
Wow.
And it's still there for a decade.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Bro.
That's crazy.
This album certainly put him in hip-hop royalty, West Coast hip-hop royalty.
Definitely.
Yeah. And at number one, the masterpiece, the magnum opus.
The magnum opus. This one, I think we didn't have much of an argument with.
Unanimous decision.
It was a unanimous decision. To Pimp A Butterfly, I'd say this is his best body of work. I'd say he really. Oh man, this album is what
these was talk. Bro.
I'd say, you know, like, obviously everyone could have like those songs. I think this album is one of those albums where you can just say it's unskippable, and it deserves its unskippability. I don't know if that's a word. I'm making that a word if it's not a word. It's unskippability. Like, it deserves it, because what he did here, he really just decided, I'm just gonna write, and I'm just gonna like not care about anything. I'm just gonna do I'm gonna write what I want to write about, and I'm just gonna put it out there, and people, they ate it up. I think most people would say that this is their favorite Kendrick Lamar album. True. And some might say that most people might find their favorite Kendrick Lamar songs on this album.
Yeah. And again, I'm touching on Rick Rubin's conversation with Kendrick on GQ. He asked him, like, what influenced you to make this album? Because it's very different from Good Kid, Mad City.
Definitely. Big time.
Yeah.
Big
and
time.
He said, you know, I was sitting with my producer Taylor, and he told me, like, yo, Dot, the things that you do, have you noticed that you're a jazz artist? You're a jazz artist. Then I was like, nah, man, show me more. He pulled out his previous songs and albums. He's like, the chords that you're picking, the soundscape that you lean onto the most is more of 90s hip-hop, Biggie, Pac type of vibe songs, and you pick Prince chords, you pick Prince saxes, you know, you're more into that jazz soundscape. Then it's like, oh, is that so? Let's make a jazz influenced album.
And
what they did on To Pimp A Butterfly was perfect.
And I mean, for the fact that Good Kid, Mad City was such a successful project.
True.
It's a risk to just decide to switch up your sound like that. That's a huge risk, because you don't know how people are going to receive that. And the fact that they received it this well, I think you have to commend him for the way that he was able to put it out. Because, you know, you can decide to do a different type of genre, like a completely different type of genre, and it won't work. And I think the fact that he basically did an album that was heavily influenced in jazz sounds, and he executed it so well, so well. I'd say, as you said, these walls, man. Yeah. Oh, bro.
These walls, King Kunta. How can we forget?
How can you even
song?
forget King? Oh man.
All right, probably his best song.
I say probably his best song.
Yeah. Hood Politics, Complexion, or The Blacker the Berry, Mortal Man. But my personal favorite, How much a dollar cost?
How
bro?
much did dollar cost?
How much a dollar cost? James Fauntleroy on that hook. He had 2 hooks on this.
Yeah.
And after each one, it just elevates, you know. He's staring at me. He's staring at me. The stare is contagious. You know, just for people who haven't listened to this song, you will notice the song every time you walk in the big city. You know, anywhere that's a town or city. I feel like you can experience this everywhere in your life. Where he did, I will quote a line from the song. He's like, I never understand someone begging for goods, asking for handouts, taking it if they could. I saw that when I was in Johannesburg, bro, when every time I stepped out, everyone is just coming, the street kids are just coming at me, you know, asking for goods, you know. That touched me, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if for anyone who has a very kind heart, and anyone, obviously you'll feel for these people.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, songs like that make you just say, damn, like, wow. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure you had listened to the song many times beforehand, but you never really got it. But I think, like,
I needed that experience to see what Kendrick was putting out on this, and that's what I've noticed with most of his songs on his discography. You know, just something, you know, music should trigger an emotion.
True.
And that's something that Kendrick does quite well.
Very well.
Whether
I'd say very, very well.
Makes you happy, makes you sad, makes you think, makes you conscious. He does that quite well.
True.
And bro, the storytelling on this, and you know, when you meet, you say no, obviously.
Yeah.
Because, no, you're going to buy drugs again. That's what you're going to do. And he did say that. The hobo told him, bro, temptation is something I've already defeated. I'm done. I'm not going to go back to that. I'm just asking for 10 rand. And now he's doubting himself. He's like, am I really making the right decision? And fun fact, this album was mostly influenced when he was back in SA.
South Africa, yeah.
In South Africa.
Yeah.
This song is a moment where it was probably at Caltex, because that's where the hobos hang out.
Yeah.
And at the end, the hobo is now Jesus now, telling him that you nishing me this dollar, you not giving me this dollar has cost you a place in heaven. That's to show that how much does this dollar cost? This is gonna cost you your kindness. This is gonna cost you being a human being, because as a human you should give.
Jeez.
You know.
Jeez, bro,
bro.
You just took me, like, you know what? Now, I've listened to this album a bajillion times, but the way that you describe it right now,
I had a different experience to it.
Imagine.
I had a different experience to it, bro.
And as I said, just going back, that's just a testament to the kind of artist that Kendrick Lamar is. The fact that you can literally listen to a song a bajillion times, but you can still get a different kind of perspective from it. I'd say, as you said, he invokes a lot of emotion, and I'd say this album did that in an abundance. I'd say in an abundance. I'd say that there are different types of songs, different vibes, different types, just in a lot of ways, but you can still feel something. You can really feel something genuinely so, I'd say. All Right
Man was the anthem of the uprising in back in the US.
Sure.
When police violence, which is something that is still happening.
It's still
right
very
now.
relevant even now, yeah.
He just put it out there, you know, just stay strong. You know, stay strong. We are gonna be alright.
Yeah.
Even through the pandemic, you know, the song just came back. This is a song that you went back just telling us that, nah, man, we're gonna be alright.
Whatever happens, you're gonna be alright.
Yeah.
Like,
perfect
you know,
album.
like it really is a perfect
album.
It really is a perfect album. He really, like, and you know, this he doesn't even need to top himself. I feel like he can just, like, leave it there and just be like, I did my thing there and I'm okay with it. I'm happy. You know, like, geez, I think you can just look at his discography as a whole. Like, you can say that, man, he's just been hitting W after W.
Yeah, and with this one, I would give this one a Pulitzer.
Really?
Yeah, rather than damn. That's just my opinion.
I'm gonna leave it on a hot note, a hot one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our list of our K Dot Studio album ranking. Please let us know if we got it right or if we didn't, and we completely messed it up. Please let us know what you think. But this was our thoughts on this topic regarding Kendrick Lamar's albums.
And yeah, just to recap, at the fifth spot we got Section 80.
Yep.
Number 4 we got Damn. Number 3, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Number 2, Good Kid, M.A.A.D City. At number 1, To Pimp a Butterfly.
Pimp a Butterfly.
And yeah, because we got it all covered, we got a sports channel where we talk about everything sports: football, basketball, NBA, tennis, motorsport. We got it all covered on that channel. If you are a sports fan, you can go check that out. Leave a like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, notification bell on. We are on all platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and also on YouTube, of course. And yeah, from the GISE family, we got it
all covered.
Yes, sir.